Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of The Buzz. I'm your host, Todd Jaden. Today I have two special guests. First of all, Jason Howe, one of our regulars, so people will recognize Jason as the leader of our bulk organization. And a new face to the camera, Matt Barnowski, who actually works in our customer service area. But Matt is going to talk about a project that he's been working on behalf of the bulk team as part of a cross-functional group. So let me start by saying back in March, we talked about some van truckload trailer activity with Dan Simons and the maintenance team. We're going to talk today to our bulk group as it relates to some trailer work and project work that Matt and team did. So with that as kind of a backdrop, why don't you take us through the project, and then I probably have a couple questions for Jason, and then we'll get out of here.
Absolutely. Okay? Well, thanks, Todd. So from a driver experience standpoint, that's what it's all about. Obviously, we as a group identified Houston as a key target area looking at maintenance defects for bulk. So the unique thing about Houston is obviously the tank wash's proximity to the OC. So what we did is we had maintenance techs on site at the tank wash for 2 to 3 hours a day per tech doing inspections. So going through trailers, identifying possible defects, and during the crux of that work, what they identified over a 10-day pilot period was pretty outstanding. So they had 125 total tankers inspected, and about 41% of those were identified to have defects. 92% were fixed on site. 100% were fixed before a driver was dispatched. So when we talk about the driver experience, that is what it's all about, getting ahead of those issues so that our drivers don't experience frustrations. And that's what this effort was all about. So over that 10-day stretch, just phenomenal results. And from a dispatch standpoint, we received feedback that we had about a 75% improvement for the amount of tankers needing to be moved from Koala over to the OC as well. So that's reducing costs and making a better driver experience.
Well, I tell you, those are really exciting results. And so with that pilot exercise that we went through and what you saw, Jason, we're going to expand this across kind of the bulk network. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't be more excited about how the results played out. And certainly, as Todd, as you said, starting with what we were doing at our operating centers across the rest of our business, our van business in particular, we expand that now to this location in Houston with the tank wash. Now we're working with our partners at Koala and other tank washes that have a maintenance arm. Koala is probably the biggest that we work with, to get after these inspections while the tanks are idle in their yards. So while they have them, before or after the wash, they're able to get after, and a lot of these are minor repairs. They're lights, tires, brakes, that sort of thing, and we can get after it ahead of time. So our drivers show up to the tank, you get a better inspection, it's serviceable, and you can be on your way. That's the intent.
And so clearly the operating centers, the tank wash we're going to utilize as well from a vendor standpoint. Not only our own tank washes, but Koala will be involved in some of this.
In the maintenance business, absolutely. So they're expanding their capabilities, and it's just perfect for us because they have, a lot of our tanks idle and captured, and they can perform that work, and they'll do a good job and do it at a reasonable cost.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, clearly this is all about what Matt said, the driver experience. How do we create an environment where we keep you moving and we take care of these defects, while you're waiting to get dispatched, not while you're under a load.
Yeah, it's another way to get ahead of it, but what I don't want to do is miss the opportunity to reinforce when our drivers complete their DVIR and report a maintenance issue, it flows directly into our maintenance system, and we dispatch maintenance every time. So I don't want to take that away as really the primary mechanism, our best eyes and ears, so to speak, around the opportunities for maintenance, but we'll continue that. This is additive to get after it.
Perfect. So I'm going to close this by saying, first of all, Matt, thank you to you and the team for identifying this on behalf of bulk. Great work. It's exactly why we pull groups like that together.
Thank you.
Jason, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, that's it for this week's edition of The Buzz. You take care, drive safe.